Did you know you can secure your retirement account with physical gold and silver? My friends at SD Bullion can help you protect your retirement today. Just visit sdbullion.com/IRA. Happy Thursday, TFMR. It's Thursday the 26th of February. That means there's one day to go. Not only in the week, but in the month. And we'll see how we wrap things up tomorrow. Of course, we had the shenanigans yesterday. Not much point in spending a lot of time talking about that. I mean, I think it's been hashed and rehashed. Look, it's just a scam, right? Why they did it, I don't know. Why they do it. I mean, there were still 4,000 February golds that hadn't been delivered as of yesterday. And then they all got delivered in one chunk. And February gold's done. I didn't catch the daily report. I was too late to grab it. But I saw a guy on Twitter said it was all Bank of America. So what? Bank of America didn't have the gold to deliver? Why? What's going on there? So it could have been any one of a number of things as to why they pulled the plug. But the fact that it was just gold and silver, and we'll throw natty on there as well just to make it look like it's not just gold and silver. Total scam. Total scam. And makes you wonder just how close we are to having the thing blow up. Now, we've been talking, all month long. Everybody's on Twitter. Oh, there's good. Look, haven't you seen? There's 100,000 contracts of open interest in the March silver. That's, 500 million ounces or, whatever it is. There's no way that COMEX is going to default. And I'm like, yeah, it's all going to roll. Even as of yesterday, there was 21,000 left. And guess what? They blew out 11,000 last night. Going into today, the last trading day before that contract goes off the board, and it is now off the board, and deliveries will start tonight. We're down to 10,516. Okay? And I'm sure we lost some more today. And so what's that? Are there going to be 7,000 or 8,000 standing? Not the 100,000 that all the hyperbolic clickbait artists were screaming about for the last 2 weeks. So, again, this is not to say that these two things can't coexist. Okay, that the COMEX is going to make it through March, just like I've told you, but that they are stressed. I mean, we've seen the drain of metal. We know about the free float in London, right? And again, shenanigans like this. I asked Michael Oliver today. He's been doing this for 50 years. Has he ever seen this? Ever seen this kind of thing happen before? Nope. So, we'll talk about that conversation here in a second. Because we lost so many marches yesterday, and without the full road of May, total open interest in COMEX silver now 120,000. 600 million ounces. 120. Less than half the all-time high of 244,000 back in early 2020. 120. Price, obviously, where it is. It's a bubble. That's the lowest open interest since July the 7th of 2023, 2.5 years ago. Gold losing open interest too. Maybe this is what was going on yesterday. Gold down 12,000 yesterday. 4,000, the final deliveries for February. But still, while gold price was going up, open interest down 12,000. Was there a short squeeze? Was somebody just, please stop it. Turn off the machines, Winthorpe. Whatever it is. Back down to 408,000. Again, these are the lowest levels in COMEX gold open interest since December of 2018, more than 7 years ago. Oh, hey, did you notice the bond market move today? 10-year note yield down 4 basis points. Lowest yield in the 10-year note since late November, 90 days ago. But wait, Mirren, he's a hawk. He'll be hiking rates. So with that in mind, we approach now the last day of the month, right? Because this was the cover that was used 1 month ago. Remember, gold And the silver just got smoked on the 29th in the morning. And then rallying back, excuse me, early in the evening. I remember like 117 at one point, silver, on Thursday evening, January the 29th. And then we know what happened next. And we know what happened yesterday. So what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know. I mean, we bounced back nice, but hey, guess what? They're smacking us on the afternoon Globex. No, you don't say. I mean, shortly after the New York Stock Exchange closed, gold was 52.20. It's now 5,200, 40, not even a half hour later. Huh. So is that a sign they're going to smack? Yeah, they're going to try. As of this morning, I wrote this down when I was talking to Michael Oliver, because it's a monthly wrap-up for Sprott Money. Gold on the month. Remember, that's Saturday. I record a podcast. Maybe it was Sunday. First of the month. And I said, if you step back, we got these big, ugly daily candles that they've painted. They're horrible looking. If you go to weekly, or particularly if you go to monthly, we don't look that bad. Now, maybe February is going to be ass, and we're going to be in real trouble by the end of February. But guess what? It hasn't been ass. At 51.83, which is about what spot is right now as I speak, spot gold closed 48.92 on Friday, January the 30th. So gold's up nearly 6% on the month, and obviously up on the year. Silver, though, only up 2%. The GDX is up nearly 20% on the month. And so those monthly charts, remember, the silver one didn't look so great, but the GDX and gold look terrific. And now, absent, a $200 down day tomorrow in gold and some absolute collapse in the shares. And again, after Friday, January the 30th, I ain't taking anything for granted, neither should you. Nonetheless, we have bounced back okay. What levels do I want you to watch tomorrow? Well, there's a couple that I think would be noteworthy. Gold in the smash that they gave us yesterday, they have unwittingly painted another bull flag. All right, I'll show you that in a few minutes. So we definitely got that to watch. The high intra-month so far in February for silver, for the May silver, 92.72. I got to last 89.05. So is it asking too much to rally $4 tomorrow? Probably. But boy, if you want something to pull for, finish the month at the high of the month after what happened again at the end of January. So 92.72 would be a level to watch. Anything above 90 would be pretty compelling. And then the GDX. After what happened to it yesterday, the nonsense, the crap, selling off late in the day, selling off today at the open, coming all the way back to finish up nearly 3 points. 114.08 on the GDX at the New York Stock Exchange close. That, my friend, is a new all-time high close. The new all-time intraday high was 113.50. So if we can just go sideways tomorrow in the GDX will close the day, the week, and the month at all-time highs. Do you think that's bullish? Where till I tell you what Michael Oliver told me here in just a second. So, wrapping up, it was nonsense. I don't even know what else to say. Tomorrow we'll watch for the PPI and the core PPI, 8:30 Eastern. The Chicago PMI, 9:45 Eastern. And then we'll just wait to see. Remember, it was not so great overnight on January the 30th, but it was after London closed, 10 o'clock Eastern. Obviously, Shanghai's already done. That's when the damage was really done. So, like I said, we'll be watching closely all day tomorrow, and then we'll have a podcast where we'll update all the charts, and we'll talk about the COTs. And lastly, for your COT week, which included, all the way up through Tuesday, 48 hours ago, Gold on the 5-day cotton week up $270, up $270. Open interest up $13,000. It had been up $25,000. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Up $13,000, but then back down 12 yesterday. But anyway, but during the week, up $13,000. Silver, on the other hand, up nearly $14 on the week. 14. Open interest down $6,000. So we'll look at those cots tomorrow. Okay, images on this page. One, here is the February gold. Again, we'll know tonight how many March silvers are open and standing as that contract went off the board at the COMEX close today. But again, it went from 21,000 down to 10,000 yesterday. So again, repeating, it's not going to be 50,000 like the clickbait. All right, here's gold. Gold, there were 30,082 standing back on January the 29th when the February went off the board. Look at that. They ended up doing 40,711. 10,000. It used to be the entire month of Feb didn't do 10,000. And here we picked up 10,000 along the way. How about that? All right. I don't know who this Peter Han is, but he follows me. So whatever. But he's just talking about corruption like I wrote this morning. Jane Street needs to get shut down to set an example of them. Nothing would make me happier. Well, public trials would be good. Public floggings, executions if necessary, that'd be fine. Isabella Kaminska of the Financial Times of London wrote this big lengthy tweet about it as well. Izzy, as she's affectionately known in London, as Ned would refer to her as. Ned has had a few run-ins with her because she hates gold, or at least comes off that way. Because, of course, she's Financial Times in the city of London. Anyway, here's old Izzy saying she was on this stuff about how these trading firms do business, and she kept getting shut down. Well, maybe she's not going to be shut down anymore. This is interesting. Somebody noticed that the 1-month silver lease rate is inverse to inflows and outflows of the SLV. You don't say. The flywheel of the SLV. We're short metal. We're going to cobble together some shares, or we're going to short it ourselves, and we're going to hit the SLV for immediate delivery. Take it out as an authorized participant bullion bank. And we're doing that because we're short metal, and you can see that in the lease rates. But then, when we got plenty of metal, lease rates come down, we can put the metal back in. So imagine that. There's an inverse correlation between the two. No. Really? We'll see for how much longer. This is interesting. Note from Reuters. Indian market regulator changes gold and silver valuation for mutual funds, and also how much they can hold. There was a whole bunch of things that came out in this article. But they are, India, part of the British Empire, no longer going to be using Western pricing. Okay. AEM, you know I love this, and this is great for history. AEM, Kirkland Lake bought Detour, Agnico bought Kirkland Lake, and now everything is just kicking ass. As this article from the Northern Ontario Business.com, if you want to go look it up yourself, the Detour mine expansion accelerates as AEM boosts spending. Remember that? What was that, 2020 when Kirkland bought Detour? And then Agnico bought, you wonder why this is the biggest and best performing gold miner. Oh, here's this handy. Here's your all-in sustaining costs guidance for next year. Remember, as price is really going up, some of these higher cost companies will do well because, things expand, their multiples and everything expands that much faster. But I'm still going to stick with these: Lundin, Alamos, AEM, Kinross. I mean, you name it. Anyway, I thought that was a handy chart for you to have. And then finally to Michael Oliver. He's such a good dude. We probably talked for about 45 minutes, recorded about 30 of it. Sprott Money will probably have it out tomorrow. As soon as I see it, I'll post it. As soon as you see it, feel free to post it. It may be late in the day. It may be something we have to do over the weekend. He wanted these well, there's a fourth chart that shows gold versus the S&P and how once gold versus the S&P on a percentage basis broke out at the end of November, gold took off, right? It's $1,000 higher. So these are the charts that he sent me to include with the Sprott Money video. And so I thought, well, there's no reason I can't share them with you. The one he's most excited about is the XAU. Remember, that's the Philadelphia Gold Bugs Index or whatever. It's the longest one. This chart goes all the way back to 1985. Bigger the base, higher the space, right? That thing's been in a box for 14 years. If everything he said, if everything just goes sideways tomorrow, okay, and they can both go down, but just as long as the gold miners go down or up or stay the same relative to gold, then we got a breakout. Obviously, big shift. He could not be more excited about the mining shares because he thinks gold and silver. Obviously, he thinks gold's going to keep going up, and he still thinks silver's going to 250. And if silver's going to 250, what would that tell you about what's going on in COMEX and the pricing scheme, right? You can see how these things might connect. But anyway, if the metals are going to keep going, the shares are going to outperform and lead. So he's very excited about this top chart. Okay, you can see it there. XAU versus gold monthly. All right, that's the one he's excited about. Then on there, silver versus the gold. Silver, the SIL versus the GDX. Look how it is continuing to go. So anyway, these are charts. Michael will describe them in that video tomorrow when Sprott Money puts it out. And finally, just your price charts. 6, count them, 6 days in a row, the dollar index has been unable to get above. It's been able to get above, but can't close above its 50-day moving average. Could a bottom drop out of this thing? Yeah, maybe with Mr. Freeze in the PPI tomorrow. Maybe it will. Maybe it closed back down below its 20-day. But boy, that's a lot of resistance. Either at the horizontal 98 or just simply right there at the 50-day. Again, this drop from the 19th through the 27th from 99.50 to 95.50, that was all part of the fuel that, surged the metals like crazy that at the same time in late January. So we want the dollar index to roll over again. That leaves us with gold, silver, and the GDX. Look at this. Unwittingly painting themselves another bull flag. We watched this one 2 weeks ago. The first one, right? Going up to 5,100 down. You got 4 or 5 candles in there, maybe 6. And then breakout. Last Friday, extending then Tuesday, and now going sideways. You want something to root for in gold? Break out of this thing tomorrow and actually close above that high back on Tuesday, which is what, about 52.50 or 40 or something like that? But anyway, you can see the pattern. I mean, it's just flagging all the way back up. It's going back up here now to the old all-time highs. And then, of course, the double top collars will come out in force. Silver, you just want to get it above 90. That's where we want it to close. Again, this is the May silver now that we're going to be watching. Currently about 89.05, 89.10. Okay, let's get it over 90. But if somehow, in a huge rally, we can get above, again, that little skinny red line, that's 92.72. Oh, and by the way, close the exchange yesterday. Claim it froze up. Dump price $5. Could it be that in the end, if you're short, you're just simply trying to drive that red line, the 20-day, down through the 50-day with a little short-term cross to just try to get some flushing back on, to get price to flush back down to 80 or 75. Was that all behind it yesterday? Who's to say it wasn't? But anyway, you can see what's going on here. And finally to the GDX, like I said, new all-time closing high. Even after the shenanigans yesterday knocked it back from whatever it was, 113, all the way back to 111, and then today all the way down to 109. Turned all the way back around. I printed this 113.35, actually finished 114.08. New all-time high. And if Michael Oliver's charts are correct, this ain't going to be the last one either. All right, well, good luck tomorrow. Good luck overnight. Shanghai gave back a little last night, back down to 98 and change, I think. Let's see what they do heading into the weekend. I'll be sitting tight. I got a call that expires next week. I got calls that expire then in another 3 weeks. So I'm just going to sit tight. I wouldn't mind adding more going into next week. I can tell you that. I wasn't going to do jack today, though, because I don't trust anybody at this point. Who knows what kind of... I mean, given what they did last Friday, the Friday 4 weeks ago, last day of the month of January, and given what they did yesterday, do you think anything's off the table that they might try tomorrow? So we'll see. We'll watch it. I'll have a post in the morning, and then, like I said, that full summary, weekly, monthly chart, COT review, everything else tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll call it a month. All right. Thanks for listening. See what happens tomorrow. Keep your fingers crossed. And we'll see you then. It's your pal Turd Ferguson signing off. And I'm out.